guys, it's Rhiannon from RMH Art, and today I have a video with the pros and cons of selling art on Etsy and on your website. And so yeah, let's jump right in. The pros that I have found with using Etsy is that it was a great starting point. I first started selling my artwork on Etsy, and yeah, I found it was a great starting point. It was easy to use, easy to maintain. Etsy teaches you a lot about listings, descriptions for listings. You have to learn about shipping, product descriptions, and then also how to take product photos that are appealing. With Etsy, you're able to customize your shop. You can have a shop banner up the top. You can, customize your product photos and have a bit of branding in there. Also, another great thing about Etsy, if you're just starting out and you don't want to fork out the money for a website, it only charges you 20 cents to list an item, and there's 3.5%, don't quote me, a fee that you get when you sell an item on Etsy. Another pro for Etsy, which is why I still use Etsy along with my website. I don't actually direct traffic to my Etsy store now, except for on Pinterest. If people are pinning from my Etsy store, that will drive traffic to Etsy. But I don't actually drive any traffic to Etsy anymore. I drive it to my website. But something that I really still love about Etsy, and this is why I'm still currently using Etsy, even though I have a website, is that people that don't necessarily follow me on social media, they might have come across my product, my listing on Etsy, and they may not have found me if it hadn't been for Etsy. Like, Etsy is a really big search engine, and yeah, so it can be a way to get new customers and, get more sales. Another great thing about Etsy is that because Etsy is so well known, probably not so much in Australia where I'm from, but in the States, like, Etsy's a huge thing, is that people trust Etsy, and people, are more likely to buy from somewhere or a platform that they trust. The cons that I found for Etsy is that when people are looking at your shop, if they click on an item, if they scroll down below and they keep, they've seen the product photos, they've seen the description, they keep scrolling, there's actually other listings to other shops listed down the bottom. So not only have you actually got in front of someone to sell or have a chance at selling your artwork, but you also are competing with the listings that are down the bottom, which, someone can easily click on that and then forget about your shop completely. So yeah, that's not great. Someone buys something from Etsy, if someone asks them, hey, oh my god, I love that piece of art, where did you get it? They can be like, oh, I got it off Etsy. They're most likely to remember that they got it off Etsy, not that they got it off you as an artist. And if that person went on Etsy and looked for artwork, there will be a buttload of listings that pop up, and the chances are that they're going to find your specific item is very small, that unless that customer has kept your details, like your business card and that, when you pop in for the packaging. So some of the stats on Etsy, 2015, 2016, I know this is 2019, there was 25 million shoppers. Oh my god, that is a lot. But there is also 1.6 million sellers, and there is 35 million products listed on Etsy. That is a lot. That is a lot to compete against. So it can be quite hard to stand out on Etsy when you first get started. Something that you will need to stand out, or to be able to start selling on Etsy when you first get started, is that you need to drive traffic to Etsy to be able to get sales. I noticed that because when I started my shop, I had a couple of things listed, nothing sold for ages. I started actually selling products on Etsy when I listed my fine art prints. They're a lot lower priced, and also that was traffic from my social media. So people that knew me, people that trusted me, when these people purchased, they were bumping my listings up in the Etsy search. And also I was getting great reviews. I got 5-star reviews, just want to say. So yeah, I was getting great reviews, and just getting my listings popped up in the search results. So that also shows that people can trust me as a seller. Now I get people buying from my Etsy store that I necessarily may not have reached on my own. I also found too, once I actually started putting more of an effort in with my packaging and invested the money in getting some tissue paper. Washi tape isn't expensive, but I got some washi tape and that, and once I did this, I noticed that when you go that extra effort for your packaging and for your customers to show that you care, I noticed that amount of reviews that I had coming in, not that every customer leaves a review, but the amount of reviews that I had coming in also picked up, which will instill more trust in someone that's buying from your Etsy store. Moving over to the website pros, I love my website. You get complete customization on your website. You know, you can choose the complete layout compared to Etsy where you only have like a small section for branding. Like on your website, you know, you can customize everything, the colors, the fonts, everything, the way, you know, where listings are, like on your homepage, what listings you want to promote, anything like that. Everything is completely up to you. You are in charge. On your website, there's no competition from other sellers as there was in Etsy. Like if someone looked at your listing and then down below they see someone else's listing. On your website, obviously you're promoting your art. There's no other art to compete with unless obviously they click away from your website and go search for something else. So yeah, so that's really good. Like, you know, you have customers' complete attention when they're on your website. They're completely looking at your artwork and your listings. Another pro for your website is that compared to Etsy, you will retain more of the profit if you sell an item. You still have to pay like a processing fee, whether you're using Stripe or PayPal, that sort of thing, but you're not actually paying any fees to Etsy themselves for like hosting your listing. So you do keep more of a profit, which is really good as, you know, someone that's trying to make money. The more profit you can keep, the better. Another great thing about having a website is that there is no algorithm changes. You know, there's algorithm changes on Etsy, on Facebook, on Instagram, like it's constantly changing. It's a platform that you don't own, you have no control over. Whereas with your website, you have complete control. Running out of breath. You have complete control, and you know, if you're collecting emails, which I really recommend for a mailing list, you know, these are emails that you can keep forever. Like, you know, something that this isn't really to do with a website or Etsy, but something that I found is I relied too heavily on Facebook and their organic reach, you know, maybe I think it was last year or the year before, and I was doing really well, and then all of a sudden when the algorithm changed, I noticed that, you know, my posts, my artwork were reaching less people, and you know, less people were seeing my stuff, and I had less of a chance to sell things to people. So I really recommend a mailing list and collecting email addresses by collecting email addresses. Another great thing about having a website is that you can you know, promote whichever pieces you want. You know, on your homepage you can have like your standout items and that, and make them as big as you want, make them stand out. You can even have a pop-up box if you want. You have like complete customization. Something that's a con with a website, you will experience this from time to time, is that, you know, if the website goes down for whatever reason, whether it be, you know, something that's happened on your end or from your hosting, unfortunately your website, it's down. And if it's a problem that's happened on your end, like a plugin hasn't worked properly, or, you know, something technical's gone on, you actually have to fix it. And if you guys are like me, I am not a tech guru. I literally taught myself enough to be able to build my website with WordPress, and yeah, so when something goes wrong, I'm like, oh my god. And you have to try and, you know, work your way through it and figure out what's wrong. If it's a problem with your hosting, obviously, you know, they will fix the problem and you don't have to worry about it. So to sum all of this jibber jabber up, if I was just starting out to sell my artwork now in 2019, I would still start on Etsy because it's a great starting point. It's a great way to get your toes wet, to sort of, yeah, just work out what it's like to actually sell your artwork and what comes along with that, like the shipping, packaging, you know, all that stuff. Like, it's a great way to get started. You just, like, obviously if you don't have a following, it's going to be hard to make sales on Etsy if you're just starting out, because Etsy is so saturated. To be honest, if you don't have much of a following, like on any platform, like, you know, on any social media platform, like, it is going to be hard to sell your art to start with. Like, selling your art is a slow process. I've been selling my art for, I think, like 3 years now. And still, it's a slow process. Like, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm, you know, slowly getting there, slowly chipping away. I definitely would recommend Etsy as somewhere to sell your art if you're just starting out. If you guys got any information from this video, if you enjoyed it, if you found it helpful in any way, shape or form, yeah, please leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I have vlogs and speed paints, a couple of artist tips. I will have more artist tips coming and more videos like this. If you guys have any questions, I would love to know them. I'd love to be able to help out. I get so excited when someone asks for help. I have no idea why. But yeah, so if you have any more experience or any more pros or cons that you can think of, please leave them down below so that, you know, everyone else can benefit from your knowledge as well. Because yeah, plenty of knowledge to go around. We can all help each other out. I shall see you guys in the next video. I really hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.